Hey everyone, Jay McCain here, doing a little test run. Don't know if I'm going to keep this or not, but I want to talk a little bit about Christoreography. So there is a person, goes by Christoreans, that has been a subject of the internet's fascination for a long time. First time I ever heard of Christian, I want to say would have been around 2008 or 2009. And since then, this person has become what I think, and others think, perhaps the most well-documented person in human history. That's fascinating to me because I love history. I have a degree in history. And you might be wondering, probably not if you're watching this video, how could someone I've never heard of even be the most well-documented person in human history? It's because a hyper-focused group of people over the last 15 years have been enraptured with everything that Chris has done and have gone to great lengths to document it. There's just a abundance of information on this person because so many people have been so fascinated by them for so long. I'm going to be going through some of the sources that I use to satisfy my curiosity with this person. And there's a lot of great Christorians, they're called, out there on the internet who have been observing Chris for years and years now, and that's not necessarily what I'm doing right now. In the field of history, we have history, and then we have historiography. And historiography is the study of history. So what I want to look at is christoriography, the study of Chris Chan. And today I'm going to do that by looking at some sources, going over those sources, talking about potential biases, and everything here is full of biases, right? Everything is community-driven, community-created, and some of these people are bad actors, as we'll see. But today I'm just going to look over the major sources that you're going to find on the internet if you're someone like me who's just fascinated by this Chris Chan character and the cast of characters that people have become famous or notorious, and is a better word, in their own right through interacting with Chris Chan as a troll or beyond, even in beneficial or in a more neutral sort of a way. These people have still gained a lot of fame, and I'm going to talk about that. So I'm going to switch my cam off and start looking at some of the sources that are available to us. And I am back. I will be continuing this video. It's tomorrow now, after that cut. I had to go and play some Dungeons and Dragons, which I did, and then I was pretty much done for the night, so. I'm going to show you some of the major resources, not necessarily all the major resources, but some of them, that are involved in the study of Christory. So the first one is the Quickie, sonichu.com. I'm not sure the whole history of this domain war off the top of my head, but someone who is not Chris Chan owns sonichu.com, and this is the Quickie, where you're going to find most of your information, Wikipedia style, about Chris Chan. As you can see, there are over 2,000 different articles and counting, but here's where you're going to go to get your baseline information. And I've read quite a lot, so if I wanted to learn about Chris's mom. That's a disturbing picture. This is where I type in Barb, and this is where I go. It's just kind of interesting. Oh, that's Barb with her two sons, Cole, Chris. So that's number one. Back in the day, what started this whole thing, I gotta get that off of here. What started this whole Chris Chan saga was 4chan, and I'm not the type of person that wants to spend much time on 4chan. And I think the people that really decided to focus on Christory left 4chan pretty early, but it is important to note that 4chan is sort of the genesis of all of this. Wikipedia was an older version of Quickie, originally populated by trolls and Christorians alike, and it went down, I think, around 2010, just because the people who are running it, they gave Chris the ability to upload videos and files there, and that became kind of a server load that became expensive. And then they started running ads, and the trolls started running the ads, started buying the ad space to troll Chris, and eventually it just became too expensive to maintain for whoever owned that server, and it went down. And I would scroll more through here, but there are some examples of the graphic ads that got it shut down, and I'm not going to do that. So Encyclopedia Dramatica was sort of a website designed to catalog weird stuff around the internet. It was not just Chris Chan stuff, but Chris Chan was a big part of it, and he hated Encyclopedia Dramatica. He hated the people who ran the website, to the extent where Encyclopedia Dramatica became written in as major plot points in the Sanchu comics, which is just more evidence of the chronicler and the historian influencing the subject matter, which is going to happen to certain degrees in everyone that I cover today. Chris hated the ED page, and it was a real consternation to him, and he himself would go in, and same with the Wikipedia, he would go in and make edits to his own story in what was a very obvious way, so the other people. And I should learn more about the Quickie. I don't know who does and doesn't have access to it, but Chris Chan definitely will try to correct the narrative to suit their their story, as opposed to how it's written by the Christorians and trolls. And it's important to know, I didn't really like reading the ED that much. Most of my knowledge I gained from the Quickie, but the ED pages were written in a much harsher tone, a lot more trolly, a lot more edgy, and in my opinion, like, cringy to read, because it's like, okay, you're having some fun right now, making fun of someone, and that's fine. Like, I'm not gonna judge you, but I prefer a little bit more impartiality, I guess, and that will also come into play when I talk about the YouTubers, which is some of the more modern part of the Chris Chan saga. Kiwi Farms. Kiwi Farms is something of a mystery to me, and I forget it. I'm not sure if it began its life as a Quick related. Quick, of course, CWC, Christian Weston Chandler. So Quick is shorthand for Chris Chan's initials. It also is the word quick, like Sonic the Hedgehog is quick, you know? And then it became Kiwi Farms. I believe that the person who hosts this, I think, might be Null. You know what? Let's do some quick research right here. This is 27, young. So he's a young man. Seems like a nice guy. Seems like he tried to really help Chris get their life back together and was not treated so well as a result. But anyway, so yeah, I guess this guy Null is the owner of the Kiwi Farm Forum. This is probably the forefront of getting like cutting edge Christian news. I've never been an active user here. I don't have an account. Something I might sign up for if I'm going to be making more videos like these, and probably should. But as far as I can tell, it's always sort of turned me off because it's very much an old school forum style. The same type of web forum that I like when I was in high school, which was a long time ago, folks. Like my Counter-Strike clan had a forum like this, and I just don't like the way that it's organized. The threads kind of stay alive for a long time, but you'll see here, you know, replies for the financial crisis. 5,000 replies, 638,000 views, 29,000. So on random Chris updates, 29,000, 4 million views, 4 million views. Like, these are insane numbers. A comprehensive history, we'll be getting to that. 1,000 replies. And it's just like, the barrier to entry is quite a bit, and I've never quite taken that plunge, just because there is so much here, and there's more. I mean, like, there's other Christians just part of this, but Brianna Wu, lolcows in general, I guess, like, Christian would be considered a lolcow, which is just kind of someone on the internet you can laugh at. Tommy Tudor. I have no idea. I have no idea who these people are. So these are the Kiwi Farms. And we could probably get more information off of the Quickie if we wanted to. Previously existing as a Chris-focused message board in various iterations. 2015, Quickie Forums was consolidated into the Kiwi Farms, an extremely controversial site which focuses on lolcows, people and groups whose eccentric and foolish behavior can be milked for amusement and laughs. In general, not just Quick. The new name came from the way several lolcows mispronounce Quickie Forums. Yes, I guess Kiwi Forums. Anyway, so that is the Kiwi Farms, and those are, I mean, the Quickie is like my main source of information, and then the Kiwi Farms, Quickie, of course, is all secondary sources, and so too is this, but I think the Kiwi Farms is maybe a little closer to primary stuff, more what's actually happening now, as opposed to someone reporting on what's happened. Next, I want to move on to the YouTubers, and as far as I can tell, these are the big three. We got Gibby, we got Gino, and we got Dylan Thomas. So we'll go through the three of those one at a time. Let's start with Gino Samuel. Gino Samuel, young man, very talented video producer, talented musician. He is not American. I'm not sure where he's from. Actually, probably say on the Quickie. I think he's Scandinavian of some sort. Let's just take a quick peek. Gino Samuel. It doesn't. I'm not seeing. Oh, this is Chris Chan, A Comprehensive History. Well, I'm not totally sure where he's from. Doesn't matter, but he's got a great voice for narration. I think he's actually a very talented documentarian. And as you can see, as of 6 days ago, as I'm recording this, this is actually an old, maybe it's 7 days ago now, but he's on part 34 of his comprehensive Chris Chan documentary, and it just keeps going and going and going. And I really enjoy. I've watched them all. I really enjoy what he's done in his narrative, and he reminds me of Werner Herzog a little bit, but he's kind of like unlike Werner, he's kind of like the fly on the wall documentarian. He tries to observe and report, but not interact. I think if you really want to be a Christorian, you can't interact. You can watch. And but even though like Chris Chan, his subject matter is aware of the documentary and watches it and appears to like it, which is kind of shocking because I mean, Chris Chan doesn't always get painted in a very positive light. But what I think makes Gino so good is that he could tell a story where the main subject kind of comes across as a villain, and the villain and the subject watches it and likes it and thinks it's a fair portrayal. And when Gino does employ some humor, he does so in a very dry way, and it's very subtle, and it lands really well. But he's not like one of the other YouTubers that's going to be coming up. So after Gino is Gibby, and I like Gibby's work a lot. He's a super nice guy. I've talked to him over Discord, just briefly. He was happy to give me Jacob Sockness's books in a zip file for me to go over. And he just comes across as a guy who, like, his heart's in the right place. He's morbidly fascinated with Chris Chan, like we all are. But I think he really does care for the well-being of Chris Chan, and like when it comes to the Sockness saga, like right here, a real danger to Chris Chan. And I think he doesn't like seeing Chris Chan suffer. He doesn't like seeing Chris Chan get manipulated. He doesn't like the idea guys who took advantage and stole money from Chris Chan, you know. And his work is probably my favorite to watch because I do think it comes from a really wholesome place, as wholesome as this whole thing can be, which is kind of inherently unwholesome, I guess. But I think Gibby does a really good job, and he also does like series on other things around the internet. This so like this series he does called The Absurds is really fun. I enjoy this. And I need to be watching more of these, but this one was pretty great on like Thomas the Tank Engine YouTubers. It kind of cracked me up. So that's Gibby. And the last one of these YouTubers that and there's more out there, but those are like my big three, is Dylan Thomas. Dylan Thomas really knows his stuff. His videos are all very well produced. My only real criticism of Dylan Thomas is that he goes pretty hard in the paint. to the point where I think sometimes he crosses over from Christorian to a troll, because he can be pretty savage in his videos, but like I've been watching a lot of his videos lately. I really enjoy them all, and like I said, he's really knowledgeable. He really knows his stuff, the details of Christian's life in certain ways where he'll interject a little information and I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, you know, or I wouldn't have thought about it that way. So like he's got a really good brain for it. And then finally, moving away from YouTube, we have the Christian, Sanchu, CPU, Blue Heart, Lightning Bolt, Blue Heart, Lightning Bolt, Twitter, where these days, you know, and there's Gibby right there. These days, Twitter's just one of the ways that primary information is getting out there, and I don't like it. I hate Twitter. I think it's a crummy platform. It's really never appealed to me. There's some weird thing going on. I think some sort of a bot bug or something, but this is a place to go for primary Christian information, so I'm probably gonna have to sign up for Twitter for this to be able to stay fresh. Those are our big sources of information for people who are reporting on Christian. I'll be diving into more later. I do think I am going to be making more videos about the phenomena that is Christian. I do think it's valuable as a historical resource, or as not a historical resource, but it's valuable to learn about how things are going to be getting recorded in the 21st century, in the digital age, the way that history is being democratized, much like media is being democratized, you know. And just in the past, you know, it would have been impossible for one individual to get so much information, to have so many eyeballs on them. But now it is possible. There's these flare-ups. I mean, call them lolcows, call them memes, call them what they are, call them what you want. Just a sheer amount. And as far as I'm concerned, like, Christian was like in the forefront, maybe not the very first, but like he's a real life version of the Truman Show. And to me, that's just fascinating. So I'm going to sign out, and in a couple of hours it's going to be Easter where I'm at. So all right, happy Easter everyone.